different for you now. Not sword swallowing, not even a sword. It's another one of those things from India, though. That's where all these things come from originally. Fire eating, sword swallowing, laying on beds of nails, walking on hot coals. India, the birthplace of magic. What's that? Where's the water come from? India. Nowadays, there's a big movement with body piercing. Kids pierce themselves everywhere, like the eyebrow, cheek, chin, nose, lip, tongue. Yep. A lot of people don't know body piercing. It goes back to India as well. It goes back over 5,000 years. They still do it today, but for different reasons, not for body decoration or jewelry purposes. They do it for other reasons. It's usually religiously connected. Like, for instance, when people take vows of silence. Sometimes people stay silent for the rest of their lives, for the religion. Sometimes for a year, sometimes for a day. Imagine that, kids. Be quiet for a whole day. Don't say a single word, just listen. You can do it. What they do is they start with one of these, and they pinch the tongue first to get the blood out, and they hit this. Stick it through. There's no pain, no blood. You want blood? Here. Oh, relax, I'm not going to do that. A lot of kids nowadays have those tongue piercings and they see this and they go, oh, it's cheating, but I hate to disappoint the kids. All right, kids, here you go. Is that what you want to see? I've got something better. Here, notice this. A hammer and a spike. And it is a solid spike. If something is a trick, I'll expose it. I'll show you it's a trick. The rubber tongue, the bent needle, tape measure sword. Not this. This is a solid spike. And in a minute, I'm going to pound this spike into my skull for your entertainment. This isn't for everyone. If you're having a little bit of a hard time with the sword swallowing, don't watch this. This isn't for you. This is for the connoisseurs. When you're squeamish, don't look. Put your head down. I'll tell you when it's out. You can lift your head up, because I'm going to do it. If you're squeamish, don't look. Just put your head down. Now would be a good time. Because I'm going to do it. I'm going to pound the spike into my skull. So put your head down! All right, the center of the skull, that would be if you drew an imaginary line from the top of the head to the chin, and from ear to ear, the center of the skull would be exactly, that's right here. Technically, that is the center of the skull. All right, here. Take me home to meet your dad. I sneezed last week. I nailed a kid to that tree back there. Actually, this is a classic act from the days of the sideshow. It was called the human blockhead. It was developed by a man by the name of Melvin Burkhart, who was a close personal friend of mine. He passed away last November 8th, and he was an amazing man. Let me put it like this. Is it better so you can't see it? Melvin was a friend that I'll never forget. I'm not making this up. This was an amazing man. He'd worked 65 years in sideshows. He used to tell me amazing stories about the days when he was in the sideshows. He was working until his last days. I worked for 21 years consecutively at the Sarasota Medieval Fair in Sarasota, Florida. And every year for the last 10 years, Melvin would come out and visit the fair, and he'd get up on stage with me and do 10 minutes or so. This man never smoked, drank, or cursed. He taught several people with physical deformities to read and write, people that couldn't get an education because of the way they looked. It was a real thing. I asked him how he came up with the act of the human blockhead. He was a sword swallower for years, and then he started doing this human blockhead act. And I said, how did you end up coming up with the act of the human blockhead, Melvin? He said, well, I was doing this boxing demonstration for a few years in the Colorado Bulls. He says, Johnny, I wasn't very good. I got my nose broken so many times they had to take the septum out. little cartilage between the nostrils. And they took the septum out. He said when they took the septum out, they were cleaning out that cavity, and they had hemostats and gauze, and it went back so far when they were cleaning it out. It went back so far, I couldn't believe how far back it went. He said, I thought to myself, wow, that's amazing. I could come up with an act for that. That was the birth of the human blockhead act. But he told me one thing, one day it was even more amazing. He said to me one day, he said, Johnny, he said, you know what a rich man is? A rich man, that's somebody who makes somebody smile every day of his life. That's a rich man. And I'll never forget that, friend. Look, folks, that's entertainment. You can lift your head up. They do. You know why that is? It's because when they smoke them like this, they burn their lips. Excuse me for smoking. I don't want to be a bad influence on the children. Kids, you know these are bad. Don't ever smoke. They're not good. You know that. Don't smoke. I don't smoke, only when I do this stupid trick. So I did the trick 20 times a day. Smoke ring. Did you see it? Smoke rings. I used to be the champ. Watch again. This time a square. I wish you people could see your faces looking for a square. Hello? I used to get Melvin to tell me stories about his early days in the sideshows. There's a lot of people that he worked with that I never got to see perform. Sideshow characters were like my superheroes as a kid. Before there ever was Batman, Superman, Spider-Man, there was Elephant Boy, Elephant Man, Lobster Boy, carnivals. That's where sideshow started this superhero whole thing. And there was a lot of things that Melvin knew about that I didn't know about, and I just asked him to tell me about them. One of the characters was his name was Prince Randian. And he had been dead long before I was ever born, but Melvin had worked with him, and I said, hey, Pop, tell me about Randian. Did you ever work with him? And he said, yeah, Johnny, I remember working with him. This man was born with no arms and no legs. They called him the human steamroller, or the living torso. And he never wanted anybody to feel sorry for him. He was fine, he got around fine, he had a wife and 5 kids, he made a great living, traveled all over the world. He would show how he could shave himself in the sideshows. He would show how he'd do different things. One of them was shaving himself. He'd hold a straight razor with his shoulder up against a block of wood, and he'd move his face up and down to shave himself. And he used to roll a cigarette using only his mouth. He'd grab cigarette paper with his lips and pull it out of the pack and crease it with his chin and grab a can of tobacco with his mouth and shake the tobacco into the paper and proceed to roll a cigarette. This is long before they knew cigarettes were bad for you. And he'd roll the cigarette, lick the paper, and tighten it up. He'd get the cigarette in his mouth, and he'd grab a stick match out of a little jar and light the match. And he'd smoke the cigarette and talk about his travels and his family. When the cigarette got small, he performed this little stunt with the cigarette. It's still burning here. Wait, I'm all right. Here. Look. I'm all right. I got it. Here, up. Gotta remember the roots. This next blade here is a Malaysian Chris ceremonial sword with a serpentine blade. Notice the blade starts very small, gradually gets wider and wider. The blade moves from side to side. Watch the Adam's apple. As this one goes down, you can see the Adam's apple move from side to side as well, like this. The Adam's apple is not like that from the sword. It's normal for anyone's Adam's apple to do that. You all have that flexibility as well. It's just that you've never checked. And if you look around now, you'll see people checking too. Another one of those moments where the audience amuses me. I look out there and see 10 or 20 of them. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. It's all right. The others usually say, oh, I'm too cool. I'll wait till I get to the parking lot. But they because my brother's in the parking lot, he tells me. Oh, help me, oh, Chucky's back. It's for the kid. A couple weeks ago, this little kid screamed out, "Mommy, he's having a baby." There's another one from India. Oh, here's one from India, from the repertoire of the Hindu rubber boy. Watch this. This one happens on the table. Watch the hands on the table. The hand. One hand stays forward, one hand turns. So it's a clear handle. There isn't a possible way it will collapse. But there will always be a few people that will say, "Don't believe it. It's got to be a trick." There will always be skeptics. This time, I won't even touch the handle. I'll let someone from the audience take it out. And I don't want to volunteer, thank you. Sorry. It's just that I have this reoccurring dream of a volunteer taking it out. Every dream it's the same. Ah, you're screwed now. If I'm going to put my life in someone's hands, I'd rather pick the person myself. Besides, I know what to look for. I need to find somebody looking. Here's what's going to happen. I'm going to swallow this giant screwdriver. While it's inside me, I'm going to take a bow over this way, Kelsey. I'm going to turn slowly towards you. You have your right hand waving palm up. I'm going to guide the handle so it ends up in your hand. Turn. Yeah, that's good. When it's in your hand, you hold it. I'm going to back away. Once I'm all the way away, Kelsey, you can take it and stab it into the wood. And when she does that, give her a big hand. Don't throw it to the handle. Wait till she does it. Yeah. Don't pull. Another thing, don't push. Don't do this. I'll do that. Once it's all the way down, I am going to twist it around a couple times like this. Clockwise. Because last show I think I did it counterclockwise and my butt almost fell off. So we did the tongue, now it's time to do the eyeball. Using the handle of this spoon, I'm going to pop my eyeball right out of the socket for you folks. You've come this far, you can handle it. It's for the kids. The kids love this one. The eyeball hangs down here on my cheek. I close the other eye. The kids hold up their fingers. I guess the numbers. Here we go, kids. What's the matter, grown-ups? Hold on, kids. I'm having a little bit of a hard time with some of the grown-ups. Wow. I think I'm going to have to get it the easy way. Sorry, kids. All right, grown-ups, here you go. Hold your fingers. Yeah, right, like I'm really going to do that. You kids know, you never put things close to your eyes. Eyes are really delicate. That's really foolish. Never put things close to your eyes. And besides, there's a soft spot under the bottom eyelid. If you ever get anything stuck in there, it can be like really...
Well, you sucked everybody in on that one.
The grown-up skills. Just lost a couple times. All right, I've got one last thing. I saved the most dangerous stunt for last. And again, these things are dangerous, kids. I mean it. Don't try these things. Also, I want to take a minute to introduce myself. My name is Johnny Fox. That's a stage name, of course. My real name is John Fox.
Thanks for joining us on this TMR tour. Leave comments below with the things that you want to learn more about.
Subscribe for more universal tips and check out our blog at tmr-tours.com. See you on another adventure from around the world. Congaloosh!